संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय Ramakrishnaaya te namaha. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We will begin with the chanting of the one of the meditation verses of Bhagavad Gita. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramarthanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Please note that the live chat has been enabled for this video. If you have any questions relating to this discourse, please type it in the live chat and I'll try to respond to them at the end of today's discourse or next week's discourse. Thank you. Now we shall go to the proper study of Bhagavad Gita. The last class we had almost completed half the discussion on the 64th verse. So we shall repeat and chant it again and also know the simple meaning and then go to the deeper meaning of it. The 64th verse of the second chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Blessed Lord said to Arjuna, the Lord is explaining about the different and various characteristics of a Sthita Prajna, a man of steady wisdom. The Lord is telling, please repeat this verse after me, it is displayed on the screen. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu Ragadvesha viyuktaistu Vishayanindriyaischaran Atmavasyairvidheyatma Prasadhamadhigacchati. So we have chanted this verse. We shall go to the simple meaning. But the self-controlled person moving among sense objects, that is in this transmigratory world full of sensual attractions, with senses under one's restraint and free from attraction and aversion, he attains to tranquility. Prasadam adhigacchati. Now we have to note that first and foremost thing, what we have to understand is the Lord. Now let us take the idea of revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, one of the greatest presidents of our order. So he is telling that Lord Krishna does not want us to leave this world, though it has lot of pain, suffering, sensual attraction, all those things, but he doesn't want us to run away, leave this sensory world and go to lead an ascetic life and stay there, sit there in some corner of the world, somewhere in the Himalayas or in the caves or on the bank of Ganga or Narmada. Now this is spoken of about the common generality. There are some special people who have gone too much forward already in spiritual life. They don't need this. So they go to the caves of Himalaya and sit there in meditation, always immersed in the thought of God. But Lord Krishna is telling all these things for the generality. Now we are taking up the steps one by one, how to reach that higher state. So Lord Krishna is preparing. So we should not get confused that when the word is told here that Gita doesn't want to leave the sensory world or this world and go away and lead an ascetic life in some corner. Let some people who have the capacity go and lead an ascetic life. They have their free will. But Lord Krishna is telling to the common generality for all the people. Live in this world, live in the midst of sensory objects. Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj is telling there is no harm, but the important thing is strengthen yourself against the energies that have the tendency to pull you down. So live in this world where there's a lot of attractions, sufferings, and all kinds of trouble-making things. But how to live here? Strengthen your mind. Strengthen yourself against the energies that have the tendency to pull you down. And what are they? So, Raga, Dvesha. The two important character of our mind which troubles us is, the trouble is not without, it is not in the outer world, external world, but the trouble is within us, the mind. So if you train the mind, as Lord Krishna has told in the Bhagavad Gita, a trained mind itself will act like a friend and it will help you to go forward in the stages of evolution. But an untrained mind will act as an enemy which will try to pull you down. When does the mind behave like an enemy? When you have not trained it properly, when you have given the free reins to the mind to behave as it likes, just like any animal. So that is Raga, Dvesha, Viyukta Istu. Lord Krishna is telling this. What is meant by this? Raga, Dvesha, Viyukta Istu. Raga means attachment. The mind wants to attach to things which it likes. Then Dvesha is whenever the mind doesn't like something, then it will try to repel it or push it away. That is aversion. Dvesha. Raga, Dvesha, Viyukta Istu. When you give up Raga and Dvesha, attachment and aversion. So that is the way by which you can train your mind. Make your mind stronger. Vishayan Indriyacharan, with your sensory systems moving freely among sensory objects, objects of attraction. Charan means moving about freely. But Atmavashyehi, by one who is self-possessed, in the sense possessed means not the possession of a ghost or something. Your Atman or yourself, your mind should be in possession of your Indriyas and the whole personality. Not somebody else or the material things possessing you, a weak mind. It's not that. So self-possessed means a strong mind. You have the control. Vidheyatma. That's why the term used by Lord Krishna is Vidheyatma. A person who has achieved self-mastery. Such a person, prasadam adhigacchati, attains real peace, tranquility, serenity. The calm, joyous, free state of mind is called prasada. You have to note that just eating some things from the temple or offering to God some sweets or something, savory things, and eating that is also the one aspect of prasada. In devotional scriptures, when you offer it to God and eat it, you remember God, and that makes your mind tranquil, along with the sensory object that you are taking, sweet and other things. Together with, there will be the thought of the God which will make you more serene. That's why, so it is one aspect of prasada. But even without the sensory objects, you can make your mind tranquil at the higher stage. And that is real prasada, real aspect of prasada. So now the rishis and munis know the weakness of our mind. So they have given all these exceptions. So they will give you so much of freedom. Yeah, yes, you go and leave that. You enjoy that. But offer it to God and then enjoy. Keep your mind under control and enjoy. For example, you can see the festivals. There are so many festivals, celebrations. like the Deepavali. For the people who are at the lower rung of the spiritual evolution, whose mind is somewhat not so strong, small children and babies in spiritual life, for them it is festival, enjoyment, celebration in the name of God. So for them, for the children especially, they will start remembering God with these celebrations, with these bursting of the firecrackers, with these lighting of the lamp, beautiful things, decorations, then sweets, so many good things to eat. So you associate that with God. So your mind start developing devotion and liking to God. Then afterwards, your mind will rise because of thinking of the God to such a level. You become a little rajasic. Then there will be the festival will be of different type. So now celebration will be taken over by rituals, homa, havan, puja, and all other things. So because now you have risen from the tamasic level to the rajasic level. So after that, again, so rishis have devised so many rituals, havans, homa, puja, all those things for rajasic people, that you will get so many good things. So many, if you do these things, you are going to get good wealth. If you do all these things, you are going to get money, good wife, good husband, good children. So they go on praying to God. God will be a means to an end. So that at least instead of going to some other means, taking some other recourse, they are going through God, righteousness. They'll follow the path of righteousness. Then the next higher stage is sattvic stage, where you have overgrown even rajas. From tamas you are gone to pass to rajas, and from rajas you are going to sattva. So at this stage, you don't need these celebrations. You don't need these festivals. Then don't need other things too, the rituals too. You have come to such a state, you'll be doing upavas. You'll be think of serving God. If you'll be meditating on God, you don't need other extraneous help for you. So automatically, you have the strength in your mind. You have brought your mind to such control that even without all these things, extraneous things, you can keep your mind at a higher state, concentrate it on God, and automatically the joy of God, bliss, which is already there within, will start manifesting in your mind. So that is prasadam adhigacchati. So you have reached to a higher state. That's why. So the step-by-step progress has been told by Krishna here. So the calm, joyous, free state of mind is called prasada. So you should understand what is prasada. In South Africa, they use prasada. So there is called apamaulya, devaluation of the terms. Just like in India, they'll tell, come to the house, you have done this mistake, your father or mother will perform arati to you. Arati has a very high value of doing the fire or the agni, the lamp service to the Lord. But here, if they want to, you are going to get some punishment for your father or somebody else, they will tell arati. So like that, there are so many words which are very high, they have been devalued. Here also in South Africa, I have seen they will use the term prasad. Oh, today I got nice prasad from the senior Swamiji. What is meant by that? What prasad, nice prasad did you get? Nice scoldings from that Swami. So they'll tell, go, the Swami is ready to give you prasad. Means he's now giving you scoldings. So like that, now prasadam is, it is used in the sense that taking some offered thing, sweet or savory thing which is offered to God or such things. No. What is the real meaning, the higher meaning of prasada? The calm, joyous, free state of mind. So that is called prasada. So without any external things like sweets or any other puja or any other rituals, your mind is joyful because it is getting the joy from within, from the joy of Atman is manifesting. So when you control your mind, even when you are in the midst of all troublesome, problematic thing, still your mind will be tranquil, calm and quiet. That's the very highest state of a Sthita Prajna. So when Arjuna has asked the question, how does Sthita Prajna behave? What is his quality? So now Lord Krishna is explaining it to Arjuna, the nature and character, so that we can emulate all these things and reach to that higher state. Whatever is the end product, end of the Siddha Prajna, the realized soul, for us that becomes a means. We can practice that and then we can reach to that end. So that's why it is all discussed in greater detail so that we can see that, emulate it, copy it, reverse engineering. So we can take it back and reach that higher state. So now you might have understood that what is prasada, the calm, joyous, free state of mind is called prasada. Such a person attains to tranquility. Prasadam adhigacchati. When you get prasada of the mind, what happens to you? Today we speak quality of life. The qualitative enrichment of life comes to you at that stage. So that quality of life, you are going to gain that. So whatever you are doing, whatever work you are doing, whichever it might be, you'll be finding joy in everything. Your quality of life will increase. So that you can see here at the higher end. So that lower portion of that can be seen as qualitative life. Here at the higher state, today we speak of quality of life. That qualitative enrichment of life comes to you at that stage. So you'll be amongst all the turbulence. You may be in the midst of a front line of a war. In spite of that, you will keep your mind calm. Nothing can deter you. So that is real quality enrichment, qualitative enrichment or quality of life. So in the next verse, the detail of prasada, that is explained. Now there is a lot to be explained in this verse itself. Let us go through that. Some aspects of this verse. Now we shall recall in the last session, in the last discussion, we had given the example. We need somebody who has attained to this Siddha Prajna state and who, in spite of being in the midst of all the attractive things, is still getting the tranquility. He is not disturbed by that. Rather, his mind will go to that prasada or immersion or merging in the Lord or in Parabrahma Swarupa, the higher state called Samadhi. We gave the example from the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, while he was doing the Advaita sadhana, his guru Totapuri, the Advaita guru, there were so many other gurus. So the Advaita guru Totapuri had told him, after getting Brahmagnana, there are degrees in Brahmagnana. Those people who are still established strongly in Brahmagnana, to test what is the strength of Brahmagnana, he had told, even if you are in the midst of all the attractive things, like lust, cupid and so many other things, your mind should not be disturbed. Then that is the real test of that you have reached the right proper knowledge of God. That is Samadhi. The Brahmagnana is so steady in you that nothing will deter you, nothing will allow your mind to be dragged down. So that state, you have to test yourself. You have to live in between all the attracting things and you should not be disturbed. So Totapuri had mentioned it. So now when Ramakrishna was living in Dakshineshwar, he had the opportunity when Mother Sharda Devi, the wife, married wife of Sri Ramakrishna, came and started living with him in his room. So when she used to stay there in the room, he used to test his mind. See, you have got the Brahmagnana, you know that the reality is Parabrahma, and here is the body lying down there, who is your wife. You can enjoy that body which gives you you falsely think that it gives you the highest enjoyment of copulation or whatever sexual intercourse. So you think that is the highest joy. So it is there. At the same time, you have attained that higher state of Brahmagnana. Nobody can stop you. He's your married wife. You can enjoy that. It's not illegitimate or something like. It is legitimate. Your married wife is lying there. So that is the body. That people think that it gives the joy. He started discriminating. The vichara, viveka, we tell that about it. In Viveka Chudamani also, last class we discussed about that viveka. So here, that mind, he started making that viveka, vichara, self-inquiry. See, this is body. But people tell that it gives the joy, but it is only some meat, pus and blood and other things. But the real joy is in Parabrahma Swarupa. If you want, you can enjoy it. Go. Don't deceive yourself. O mind, don't have that hypocrisy. If you want it, you want that higher joy, you can have it. Otherwise, this is the bodily joy. It is here, there, available for you. You can enjoy it. So when the thought came to the mind of Sri Ramakrishna, immediately his mind rushed towards the Parabrahma and merged in Samadhi. So it became so difficult for other people to bring him down from that Samadhi. 3 days it was merged in Samadhi in Parabrahma. So he was in the midst of the attractive things which can drag you to any level, the bodily joys and other things. But instead of coming down, the mind rushed to Parabrahma Swarupa, its original joy, prasadam adhigachyati. So we have seen that in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. So many other examples. I think last time when we were reading Swami Chidbhavanandaji Maharaj, Bhagavad Gita explanation, in that Swami Chidbhavanandaji Maharaj was the disciple of one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, that is Shivanandaji Maharaj or Mahapurush Maharaj. So he gives in his book, the Bhagavad Gita, it's a very popular book, Bhagavad Gita, written by Chidbhavanandaji. In that he tells Sri Ramakrishna's life exemplifies. So whatever now here Lord Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita, the same Narayana, Vishnu came down, Gadadhara Vishnu as the Avatara, took the body of Ramakrishna, and he himself showed it in practice. There he has given us what is the truth. Now as Sri Ramakrishna, he has shown how it can be done. What is the truth? What is the veracity of the scripture? Bhagavad Gita has been told that is true, 100% true. So there, what are the 5 ways in which he exemplified? Sri Ramakrishna's life exemplifies this teaching of Bhagavad Gita, this fact. The sight, I will go through that again because this is very, very important. Though I have told that in detail in the last class, I am taking more time because it should go deep into our mind and help us to do sadhana. We should get faith. The intellectual conviction is also very, very important. The sight of an extensive verdure below and dense black clouds above, that is the green paddy field, and above the black clouds above, with a group of snow white cranes in the flight in between, took him to the beyond Samadhi even as a small boy. Gadadhara, while, so that is of the sight, the Indriya, which is the sight. The moment he saw the beautiful scenery, instead of taking his mind to the lower things, the mind rushed to Samadhi, to Parabrahma Swarupa. So what about the other this thing? Sparsha. Now we have seen the sight of the eyes, the Indriya. Then there also it was a beautiful paddy field and the rain and the clouds, beautiful smell to Grana. Now let us see about the Sparsha. While on the day of Shivratri, makeup of Shiva was being put on his person, while the sense of touch with the holy ash and the dress of Shiva covered him all over the body, that ashes transported him. So that is also a kind of prasada. Wearing of the holy marks, they put this mudra, they will put this namam, then vibhuti, according to the Vedic praxis, the poundra, the Vishishtadvaita Putra, Urdhva poundra, then the mudra, nama, so many things they put. So that is the touch, the nirmalya, the prasada of the Lord offered. So the ashes now here, while he was wearing the Shiva's dress there, he was going to, they were smearing the ashes all over his body, the prasad, sense of touch with the holy ash all over the body. So it's the touch to the skin, the sense organ skin, sense of touch with the holy ash all over the body transported him into the infinite. He emerged in Lord Shiva. He got the prasada, the memory of Lord Shiva, and it merged in Parabrahma Swarupa. Hearing of the divine name of the Lord was a sure means to put him into Samadhi. So here the sense organ, the ears, hearing the name. I gave you the example in the last class of the word karna. Karna in Bengali is also alcohol. So the moment the word karna, alcohol, the other mind will take us to the tavern or the pub. But Ramakrishna's mind merged in Samadhi because it reminded him of the Jagat Karna, the source, the cause of this world, Jagat Karna. So the hearing of the divine name of the Lord was sure to, not only divine name, even the ordinary things like Karna, the alcohol, the name also would take him to the samadhi, remind him of God. The aroma of the incense sticks, when they would light the aroma, the agarbatti or dhupa, used in worship, rouse the divine consciousness in Sri Ramakrishna. So that is grana, smell, nose. The taste of the sacramental food, tongue, prasada. That is the prasada, see. That is the prasada which we generally think, but there are still higher version of prasada. Everything, all the indriyas, whatever, nirmalya, the agarbatti, everything leads to the prasada. That is the prasada. So the taste of sacramental food invoked, which we call generally the prasada, is devotion to God. Thus, all the five sense organs served him as gateways to noumenon, that is the highest, without the second. This world is phenomena. That God, the highest God, is noumena. The opposite of phenomena, the source of that is noumena. So, all the five sense organs, five senses served him as gateway to noumenon. Instead of there being impediments, the sense organs and other things, he was living in the midst of that. Instead of that dragging him down to the world and attracting him and putting him into trouble, causing the raga and dvesha, because he had controlled his mind, Sri Ramakrishna has controlled perfectly his mind. Earlier, just like it was given, just like the tortoise, kurmongani vasarvashaha, the moment there is any attraction or temptation, or when there is danger, the tortoise sucks in all the five limbs into that shell. Like that, the mind of a Siddha Prajna will be drawn inside and it will get the protection of the Parabrahma, the Lord. It will merge in God just like the tortoise. So that you can see here. Instead of there being impediments, the same things which would attract him and put him down, when he is living in the midst of all those things, Vishyan Indriyesh Charan, impediments, they became instruments for the transcendental flights of the perfected mind of this disciplined yogi, Ramakrishna. So, we have seen the example of what Lord Krishna has told. Now, we discussed it in the earlier class, first class, about the first class in the sense about this particular verse, the 64th verse, that is the Ragadvesha Viyuktaistu Idriyan Ragadvesha Viyuktaistu Vishyan Indriyeshcharan Atma Vishyer Vidheyatma Prasadam Adhigachati. We discussed about this verse, the beginning, the first thing, that from the devotional point of view. Now we shall go to the intellectual point, or the Gnana point of view, from the scientific way of dividing it, from the logical way. Okay. Ragadvesha Viyuktaistu Vishyan Indriyeshcharan Atma Vishyer Vidheyatma Prasadam Adhigachati. So, in the verse 61, in the second chapter, so while Sri Krishna is explaining about the Sthita Prajna Lakshana, this whole series of verses are called Sthita Prajna Lakshana. So in the verse 61, it pronounces the importance of self-control. We have seen that earlier. If a person does not practice self-control, he is bound to meet his downfall. We saw that. What were the shlokas in the 61 to 62? What did it tell? How did it start? A thought neglected will lead to the ruin, one by one, step by step. Krishna took us. What was that? Dhyayate Vishyan Pumsaha Sangaseshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodo Vijayate Krodat Bhavati Sammohaha Sammohat Smriti Vibramaha Smriti Bramshat Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So step by step. From the verse 61, Lord Krishna, there, those verses were pronounced where the importance of self-control were told. If a person does not practice self-control, he is bound to meet his downfall. All that were told in the next verses. So the previous two verses traces the ladder of fall. Whatever I told just now, Dhyayate Vishyan Pumsaha, until the Pranashyati. This verse, that is the 64th verse, is a graphic description of the mechanism of self-control. Everyone talks about the importance of self-control. Yeah, wherever you go, the religious leaders or whichever religion, they will tell about, all the sacred books tell about the importance of self-control. But none seems to pinpoint how to do it. They tell it's very, very important. But the important aspect is also how to do it also. Is also very important. You have to teach. So here Krishna, Lord Krishna enumerates it, or he will take us threadbare, opening up everything step by step. So let us go and see what Lord Krishna wants to tell us about the not only the importance of self-control, but he's been pointing exactly how to do it. Let us observe that. The words Vishayan Charan appearing in the verse means moving amongst the sense objects, the attractions, the things which will cause our downfall, the dangerous things. Even if you are moving in between them, amongst them, this indicates that a person practicing self-control can remain in contact with the sense objects. Self-control does not mean giving up possession and enjoyment of sense objects. So, taking this verse as Lord Krishna has given you license to go on enjoying the sense objects, you should not go and have the downfall. This is only for the higher step where you have reached to the just a lower step to Sthita Prajna Lakshana. So it is to those people. First, sense control is very, very important. After you have reached up to some extent, the control has been acquired. Then Krishna is telling that even by chance, if there are things coming, then that should not deter you if you have the control. Live amongst that. So the dharmic way of senses, not the adharmic, the unrighteous way. So that should be very, very much taken care of. We should not think that this is a license given by Krishna to go and live in the sense objects. No, first you should have the self-control, complete control. Then even if you, this is an excuse, even exception, even if you live in the midst of the sense objects, you will still have the prasada because the raga and dvesha have been given up. So first you have to give up the raga and dvesha. As Sri Ramakrishna used to tell recently while we were studying the life of Sri Ramakrishna, that is the great master, there we got the teaching. Ramakrishna used to be repeating, first have the knowledge of Atman or Parabrahman. So tie it at the corner of your cloth. Then go do whatever you want in the world. It is almost similar, isn't it? The same thing. So in the olden days, people used to wear the cloths in such a way there were no pockets or something. So whenever they have something to be preserved or safely kept, they used to tie it to the cloth and a knot would be put so that it doesn't fall down. The mother in the houses used to keep the keychain and other things tied to their cloth saris. The male members used to tie it to the dhoti or the uttariya, end of the uttariya. So taking that as an example, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, tie the Brahmagnana. That means get the Brahmagnana. Tie it at the end of your cloth. Then go. Jump into the fray. Jump into the world. Do whatever you want. So once you have this knowledge, that is, once you have the control of mind, control of your senses, that is the Atmagnana tied. Once you have the Atmagnana, then the mind is under control. Your indriyas are under control. Then even if you move amongst the sense objects and the senses are exposed to these things, there is no problem. You will be still having the tranquility of mind. And such a person, after having the Brahmagnana, prasadam adhigacchati, still even living amongst in the midst of all these things, you will still get tranquility of mind. So that is the meaning. So now we were seeing the step by step where Krishna is pinpointing exactly how to control the senses. So what is the next step? This indicates that a person practicing self-control can remain in contact with sense objects. Sense control does not mean giving up possessions and enjoyment of sense objects, nor does it mean moving away from the world to seclusion, living in isolation. So what are the example? I gave the example of Sri Ramakrishna, but should note that before that Sri Ramakrishna isolated himself from all the sense objects, from all the people, from all the attachment. So did lot of intense spiritual practices. After that he could move, not before that. So they are the step by step. So don't get confused. So first you have to give up all the sense, go to the sense objects and sense enjoyments and go to seclusion. Then after getting the mastery over your mind and indriyas, then you can come back. So don't get confused and get into trouble. So that's why step by step Lord Krishna has been pointing. So now does it mean that moving away from the world to seclusion to live in isolation? That is the first step you have to do that. But the example is given of King Janaka, possessed a rich kingdom of his own. He thoroughly enjoyed the pleasures of the world. And still he was a man of perfect self-control. Self-control has a far deeper meaning than what the average person conceives. So many people give the example of Janaka. Oh, Janaka was a king. He enjoyed all the things, luxuries of the kingdom. But he was also a gnani. We should also be like that, so we will enjoy the world. But have you done the spiritual practices in the beginning before becoming a gnani and being a king? Janaka did very severe spiritual practices for thousands of years. Then after attaining that Brahma Gnana, then he came back and started ruling the kingdom and staying amongst the sense objects. So without attaining that self-control, then you can't be a Janaka. So we wrongly quote Janaka. But here we shall take the life of Janaka in the right way. So don't take it wrongly and go and jump into the fray without first controlling your mind. So first you should control your mind in seclusion. You have to make it strong.